Okay, our webinar is starting. Welcome, everyone. Please get settled in as we prepare for today's webinar. Okay. Hello, everyone. Kia ora, bulavinaka, talofalawa. Hello, bonjour, kia orana. Hello, Ogata, and warm welcome to today's webinar with Business Link Pacific. ISO certification, why it's important and how to get it. So thank you for joining us today from wherever you're located. Today, as I've mentioned, we will talk about ISO certification and why it's important for your business and how to get it. So I'm your host today, Velini Jacob, BLB advisor from Vanuatu, and our guest today is Dion Palu from Quality Solutions. I'm going to be switching off my camera now because I want the internet, just for stability of the internet. So I'll have my camera switched off as we go through the webinar today. So today, I will start with housekeeping. I'm going to start with some going through our housekeeping rules for our webinar today. And if you're joining, please keep your microphone and camera off for the presentation part of the webinar, as it helps to ensure a good connection. Please feel free to ask any questions throughout the webinar in the chat box that's located on the top right-hand corner of your screen. There will also be opportunities to voice your questions later on during the, we'll be having a question and answer sessions, but please feel free to use the chat box to drop any questions that you have. This webinar will be recorded, the presentation part will be recorded, and we can always review it afterwards, so you can share it with your colleagues, and it will be uploaded on the BLB portal as well as the YouTube channel for any future reviewing afterwards. So like I said, we will be joined by Dion Palu. I'm just going to introduce a little bit about BLB. So for those of you who may have just recently joined the BLB network as a business advisor or a growing SME, or even if you've been with us for a while, we're just going to go through a quick refresher on what BLB is all about. So BLB has been established since 2018 and has supported businesses in the Pacific. And BLB is a private sector initiative, and it's developed to deliver to the Pacific region, and it's funded by DT Global. We have 12 countries in the Pacific who's already in partnership with BLB in the Pacific. And we're just going to go through a few statistics of what BLB has been achieving in the region. So since 2018, BLB has supported businesses in the Pacific, and the key results you will see from the statistics. There's 1,712 businesses have been connected with BLB advisors. We have 220 quality approved business advisors in the BLB network. And as a result of the support given to businesses, 1,109 new jobs have been created, of which 42% have been jobs for women. Over 2,700 subsidies have been secured by businesses to help with advisory service cost. And these are the main services that's provided to SMEs in the region. Can you go into the next slide, Sandra? Okay, so BLB has in-country representative in each of our countries. Our business service managers are locally based, and their role is to help both SMEs and business advisors to access and make full use of the suite of Business Link Pacific services. So BLB services include online diagnostic tools, including the Business Health Check and Business Continuity Planner, Finance Finder, which helps SMEs to access finance and climate action sensors. And all these tools are available for the SMEs on the BLB portal online. As well as our grant, BLB also helps MSMEs with concessionary lending and partnerships with key financial institutions across the Pacific. So BLB connects with SMEs with suitable BLB advisors to support them with their business issues. All advisors and BLB advisory network go through a quality assurance process. So BLB advisors can apply for BLB subsidies to assist their clients with the cost of advisor service fees. So yeah, I just went through with you what BLB offers and how long it's been in the region and some statistics. So today is about Dion and quality solutions. I'd like to now introduce our guest speaker, Dion Palu, to talk about today's topic. Dion is the founder of Quality Solutions, a business consultancy that's based in Vanuatu, and has been providing technical advisory services to Pacific Island businesses, and the business provides third-party certification to meet international standards, primarily to enter and maintain local and export markets. Dion has over 20 years of experience as an auditor within Asia-Pacific region. Dion and his team offering consulting and training support, and he works in specific sectors that includes public transport, food safety, organic manufacturing, primary industry export, and occupational health and safety. The business itself is ISO 9001 certified by TELARC New Zealand Limited, and is a leading certifying body in New Zealand. So without further ado, I would like to call on to Dion. Dion, are you there?
Yes. Thank you. Melanie, can you hear me? Are you able to hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Melanie, for the introduction and for everyone's time. I know we're all very busy people, and we'll keep today's short webinar straight to the point. Okay, what I've got there is, as you can see, in this market that we have, it's quite competitive, even within the Pacific Islands. But what we need to look at is how we can go global. The markets in the Pacific Islands are quite limited and at times restrained. So what I've seen with our past clients that we work with is that they're able to sustain growth even during times as COVID through ISO certification. So really, they were able to checkmate with international standards, and that they were able to continue to grow and stay in business. Just an example of in Vanuatu when COVID hit, our abattoir there, when I was working with them to get a certification through Bureau Veritas, they said to us they did not let any staff members go. As we can all remember, in COVID, a lot of businesses were letting their staff go. But what stood out to me when I was working with the abattoir is there are 56 staff that they had on the payroll. They were able to continue to maintain that payroll. So that's something that's quite, it stood out to me. And you know what they've said to me was the reason we can do that is we're exporting, and the reason why we're able to export is that we have these international standards. So even during these tough economic times, the standards and certification that organizations hold can keep them afloat. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so this is just an introductory video. I think the team will get it played. Thank you.
Angela, are you able to play the video?
Angela? Okay, I think we're having difficulties with the video. If it's not able to be played, then we can skip it. We can send you the link from our YouTube channel. Okay, we'll just get into the case study. The case study here is, yes, we'll send the video link afterwards so you can watch it. It's actually on YouTube. But just getting back to this case study, this company is a family-owned business. They're based in Tonga. So it's owned by the father, mother, and 2 children. So it's a family business. Who here, if you can put in the chat box, is from a family business, has a family business, family-owned business? Okay, you can put it through the chat box. But this is an existing company that came into the market, which was quite a saturated market. Next slide, thank you. Yes, so this MJ water tank company came into a very saturated market and had quite a few competitors already that were providing these water tanks locally. But so as you can imagine, if you're a newcomer, you come in and the market already has existing competitors, it is quite a difficult challenge. Next slide. Again, an issue with upcoming organization is that standards are not well defined and not to a high quality. So issues with poor quality was something that they had to overcome. Next slide. When manufacturing rubber water tanks, there's quite a few health and safety hazards that have to be managed. So again, this was another obstacle for them to overcome as well. Next slide. And again, this is familiar to a lot of us, cash flow problems. The revenue that was coming in wasn't consistent, and it was from very small walk-in customers. Next slide. So the solution, the solution that this family-owned business had taken was to focus on the quality of the product. The reason why I have Apple there is, you know, Apple has very high quality products, and the demand is there if the quality is right. Next slide. Okay, so with ISO certification, it focuses on having a process approach. If you can read that quote from Dr. Edward Deming, he is known as the father of quality. What he said was, if you cannot describe what you are doing as a process, you don't know what you are doing. So we have to get what's up here, up in our heads, and get it into writing, documented, into something that somebody else can follow as a procedure or SOP or work instruction. So if you can see through this, starting from the left side there, it's important to know where your raw materials are coming from, that you are not just getting your raw materials from just anyone. So we have to approve our suppliers, make sure that they meet a certain criteria before you can order any raw materials or supplies from them. When you receive these products, you have to do quality control checks and make sure what you paid for is what you got. And then through production and assembly of whatever product or even service that you offer, we have to do testing, audits, checks, validations to make sure that what we designed is what we're actually producing. And as we go through, before we deliver the product to the client, we have to do what's called a possibly release check to make sure that it meets the criteria before we distribute it out to our buyers and clients and customers. But what I see mostly when I talk to clients in the Pacific, not just specific Pacific Islands, is that we're not getting this feedback from the customer. We sell our products and services to the customers, and then at the end of receiving the money or the payments, we don't go back to them and ask, hey, can you give us any feedback or any comments, compliments, or even complaints? So this is a gap that I see in most businesses that they fail to do. We're collecting money, we're collecting our invoices, but we're not going back to the customer and say, hey, did we really deliver what we want, what you expected or not? So from this feedback from your customers, you can do your research to find out, okay, let's redesign our product, let's improve our service, let's make adjustments necessary so that moving forward, our products will meet the expectations of our clients. So as you can see, it's a cycle. It's a continual improvement cycle that is important to make sure that your business is sustainable, resilient, and continually improves. So if this is the only slide that you take away from this presentation, it should be, because this is what Dr. Deming had put in front of the Society of Engineers in Japan. So what happened after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, after World War II, Japan had engaged Dr. Deming from the US to come into Japan to build up the economy. And this diagram here is what Dr. Deming had put in front of all their managers, the CEOs, and engineers and scientists. So from this simple process diagram, this is how the economy of Japan, the country of Japan, was built. So you can think of brands like Toyota or Mitsubishi as a result of this Deming philosophy. Yes, so that's a good question. How can we collect the customer feedback? There's many ways to skin a cat. You can send surveys. You can have a customer service desk. And that's one of the things we assist with our clients to put in place. Mind you, one of our clients is Vodafone Vanuatu. So they are quite a big client of ours, and we're dealing with them to put in place customer feedback mechanisms. Okay, next slide. Yeah, so the key really to staying afloat, staying resilient in a what they call a VUCA economy, one that's volatile, uncertain. It's always changing, and there's a lot of uncertainty in this war that's going on and the fuel prices. I think a key for success moving forward is meeting international standards, such as ISO 9001. The next slide. So us as a BLP advisor and service provider, what we do is we prepare you to go through the ISO audit and get certified. So we don't actually issue the certificate. That's our good friend who's joined us today from Bureau Veritas, Anthony Sosa. So I'll give Anthony some time later during the webinar to explain how Bureau Veritas actually issues the certificate. So what we do is we come and prepare you. We help you to develop your documentation, train your staff, carry out internal audits. And when you're ready, then we get in the external auditors like Bureau Veritas to come and do the external audit and eventually issue the ISO certificate. Next slide. Okay, so just going back to our case study, we had assisted MJ in Tonga to get certified in 2018. to build their water tanks. Next slide. And as you can see there, it is good quality. Even a coconut tree cannot really damage it, just a small dent there. Next slide. And M&J water tank has the majority of the market here in Tonga for rotationally built water tanks. So what I'm trying to say here is, when you have ISO certification, big aid donors such as the ADB, the WHO, World Bank, and other large aid donors are able to recognize that, yes, okay, there's a local supplier in country, in Tonga, or in whatever Pacific Island nation you're tuning in from, who can deliver a product that we recognize. So as such, we can see with this particular family-owned business that they've been able to secure multi-million-dollar contracts, even from MFED, which is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade from New Zealand. Simply because of these two words here, confidence and client loyalty. So basically, where they see a supplier with a third-party accredited certification such as ISO, it gives them confidence to go ahead and engage them. Next slide. Yeah, so just with that previous case study, they started off with just a handful of staff. Now they've got two large factories, and I think the last time I spoke to the managing director, he said that they've grown more than, the factory sizes grown more than 4 times over the past few years. And what's interesting, like I mentioned earlier, is that they saw the biggest growth during COVID. Who here saw their business grow during COVID? I don't think too many of us can say that. But because he had this particular ISO certification for his organization, the opportunity with the large aid donors came in, and he was able to capitalize on that. Okay, benefits of ISO management system standards. Firstly, trust. Like I mentioned, people trust those with such ISO certifications. It gives you a competitive advantage over the competition. It gives stakeholder confidence, and it gives you access to markets that were not open to you before. I am just speaking to a potential client of ours. They make cosmetics in Port Vila, and one of their directors went to Vietnam and took one of a sample of their cosmetics products to Vietnam, and they found a large market there. But what the market said is, we'll take your cosmetics. What they've said is they'll take it if they have ISO certification. So we're talking with this client to get them ready for certification so that they can access this new market in Vietnam. Okay, governance with ISO system, you're able to, manage your risks and controls. And have confidence in legal compliance. Why I say legal compliance is that with an ISO system, you would need to show the auditor that you meet the relevant regulatory requirements of your particular industry. And it also helps with strong leadership in defining what responsibilities the manager has over quality, that quality is not left to the quality manager to manage. No, quality comes from the top. So that's something that's very important to take into consideration. And lastly, with growth, because the auditors are coming every year, and because you need to do your internal audits regularly, at least once a year, it drives continual improvement over time. And with that, you're able to lower your cost and improve your profits. And lastly, with tender readiness, a few of our clients have said, hey, if we don't get ISO certification, we won't be eligible for particular tenders. Next slide, thank you. Okay, when we look at defining your process, who here knows how to bake a cake? Yes, so for those of you who know how to bake a cake, are you able to make the same quality, texture of that cake each and every time without having to refer to a recipe? So what I'm trying to say here is that for you to be able to provide consistent services or products, you have to define your process. It's something we had to do as a business ourselves. I had to take a lot of what's up here and put it into process definitions. Once you define your processes, you interconnect, you interrelate all those processes to make a system so that everything is going in one direction. And as you systematize your business, you then start to keep records. And as many of you would know who've been through audits, the auditors are always asking for records. How many of you have job descriptions defined and KPIs? How many of us know that what our client expectations are? So what we do at Quality Solutions, when we talk to clients, we identify what the expectation is now, but then we also ask them, okay, in 2 to 3 years' time, what are your expectations, so that we can prepare in advance to meet their needs and wants. With an ISO system, you need to identify what your risks are. Yes, it is quite heavy for a small SME, but like I said, the small SMEs who've been able to get ISO certified, we've managed to simplify these requirements for them, so it doesn't become a very thick textbook. Okay, internal audits. Once you document your procedures, how do I do this? How do I bake my cake? Then you have to do internal audits. So that's part of what we do, is we train our client staff to do internal audits. And from finding out internal audits, the gaps that needs to be improved, then they work on those improvement initiatives and set higher targets. And at times when we meet clients who want to sell the business, what they found is that they are able to sell the business at a higher level, a higher value. Because when you sell a business that comes with an ISO certificate, it gives a higher value for the value that you're trying to sell the business for. There was a good example in Vanuatu when I worked with a clients that they wanted to sell the business and move back to Australia, and we had helped them to get certification, and they were able to sell it at a higher price because they had that certification. So even from that sense, the ISO certification brings a lot of benefits. But for those of you who don't want to sell your business, what it means is that you don't have to rely on people, key people to be in the business, and when they leave, they take all their knowledge with them, so that you're building your organizational knowledge so that it stays with the business and you can pass it down to your children or grandchildren. Okay, next slide. Yeah, and just on that sense, there was 2 years ago when we had an audit of a large client of ours, and I had to leave to go see my father, who was ill. And what I found is we were just recently certified. I was able to leave the business and let the staff run it and get the audit done. And I was able to go and see my father with minimal intervention from me. So what I'm trying to say is the business can run on its own once you document your processes and procedures, once you train your staff. So that as a manager, you can just focus on strategic objectives, and the day-to-day can run on its own because you've got systems in place. And what's valuable is your time. And then if you can have that as a business with those systems in place, imagine how much more time you can spend with your family, and still operate the business successfully. Okay, how do you get certified? We've worked with clients in the past that they were so hungry to get certified. We got them over the line in 3 months. This is because their market was waiting for them. They said, if we don't get this in 3 months' time, we're going to lose the market. So we worked closely with them. A few long nights there, but we were able to get them certified in 3 months' time. So what I'm saying here is that it really depends on your urgency. If you have a big market with a few $1 million of purchase order waiting, you can afford to really push to get certified. Okay, so the steps here are only 3 steps. First one is a gap analysis. So this is where we come and check whether you've got documents in place or not, or whether we have to start from scratch, what staff you've got in place, and their competencies. We look at your workplace, equipment, tools, to see whether they meet the standards. Then when we know the gaps, we implement the changes needed. So we document your processes, we train your staff, whether we need to renovate or upgrade your facilities. Then that has to be done before we engage the external auditors to come in. So in the Pacific, I think there's mostly the certifying bodies are from New Zealand and Australia, and they fly in their auditors to the Pacific Islands to do the external audits, and that's a stage 1 and stage 2 audit. So the stage 1 is they review your documents, whether it's ready, and then the stage 2 is where they come on site to see what you said in your document is what you're actually doing. So if they find any non-conformances or findings, then Quality Solutions steps in to help you to clear those findings and get you certified. Next slide. Okay, so the 2 main certifying bodies that we work with is TELAC out of New Zealand, and also Bureau Veritas, who are based in Australia and New Zealand as well. And we are glad to have Anthony here. Anthony Sosa is the business development manager for Bureau Veritas, based, I think he flies in between New Zealand and Australia. I think Anthony is of Samoan heritage, and I'd like to give Anthony just a few minutes to introduce himself and what Bureau Veritas has been able to do in the Pacific Islands. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Dion. Hello, everybody. My name is Anthony Sosa. I'm based here out of Melbourne, Australia for Bureau Veritas. So I am the business development manager for the southern states of Australia, New Zealand, and the Pacific Islands. And I've been working with Dion for a number of years now, helping some of his clients get certified. And I think, Dion, with everything that you said, it's quite spot on. Everything is pretty much all there when it comes to the process of having those items ticked off prior to becoming certified. So just a little bit about Bureau Veritas and myself. I did have some slides prepared, but I think it's okay if we can just proceed with myself here. So Bureau Veritas was founded in 1828 in Paris, France. So we have a global presence in about 140 countries. We have over 78,000 experts right across all different industries and all different certification programs. At the moment, we run primarily QHSC and food safety programs. So ISO 9001, which is quality, ISO 14001, which is environment, ISO 45001 for OH&S. But also we do run quite a few food safety programs, particularly in the Pacific Islands. So this being HACCP, which is food safety, SQF, BRC, and also ISO 22000. All of them have varying levels of applicability when it comes to the overall certification market. Our global presence, so within Australia, New Zealand, and the Pacific, we have over 1,800 employees, and we work with about 90 or so subcontract auditors as well to service the area. So around the Pacific Islands, we have a footprint there with some of our clients, again, mostly in the food safety and food manufacturing space. So some of the examples that we have of clients that we service in countries would be Fiji, mostly, New Zealand as well, Vanuatu, Tonga, Samoa, and Kiribati. So those are the presence that we have there, and we do annual audits. A lot of our auditors obviously travel to these islands to conduct audits. And of course, for cost saving, we tend to link up back-to-back audits just to save everyone a bit more money when it comes to those travel expenses. So some of our key clients that we have across the region, some of the larger, I guess, civil engineering type of clients like Rio Tinto, Ventia, Suez, for example. But in the Pacific Islands, we certify Punjas over in Fiji, the Civil Aviation Authority of Fiji, Sunflower Aviation, Paradise Beverages, the Fiji National University, Blue Gas as well is one of our clients. So we have a wide-ranging, I guess, portfolio of clients. So similar to what Dion was mentioning, there's all varying degrees of size of much larger multinational clients, right down to the mom and pop and family-owned businesses, and that level of importance still remains the same for each of these ISO programs. So I myself has focused on some of the SMEs as well, and sort of helping to demystify the complexities of becoming certified. For the most part, it's much straightforward than you might think. Everything is sort of aggregated on the size of the company, the risk level. Of course, it's not as daunting as a task as you might think.
Thank you, Anthony. And
Yep, I'll just finish off. Similar to what Dion was saying, it is a normal 3-step process. So once Dion would and Quality Solutions will take you up to a certain level where you are ready to be audited. So the stage 1 audit, reiterating what Dion said, is a desktop audit, which can be done remotely or which can be done on site, where we're basically looking at the requirements of the standard and what you currently have in your policies and procedures, and making sure that everything from a management system framework is there and to be audited. So at that stage, the auditor will give you a thumbs up to sort of say, yes, you are ready to now be audited. And that's where the stage 2 is. The stage 2 is the really heavy nitty-gritty sort of audit where we're looking at implementation. So basically what you say that you do on paper is what's actually happening day to day on the shop floor level. Then from there, you'll be granted your certification once approved. And that's a 3-year certificate with ongoing annual audits, just to make sure you're maintaining the certification from there. Again, I work with Dion. I'm sure we can share details if you have any sort of questions around process, around any sort of technical information you might need, or even just to generally have a chat about certification and how that may or may not apply to your business. I'm available to schedule a meeting and have a discussion on that. So thank you very much to all. Thank you, Dion.
Thank you, Anthony, and thank you for your time. I know you're a very busy man with a large portfolio to look after. Okay, thank you, Anthony. Next slide. Okay, so then this is a summary of the Pacific Islands and the number of certified organizations. As you can see, PNG there is leading with 152, Fiji 129, We got Solomon's there with only 2. So in Solomon's, you only got the FFA and a rotomold Solomon's. In Vanuatu, you got 5 there. These are ISO certified companies. So there's water tank suppliers, there's a bank, there's ourselves. In Samoa, there's Natural Foods, they export coconuts. And Kiribati, you've got Kiribati Fish Marine Training Center. In Tonga, you've got 3, again, in plastic products. And Rarotonga, you've got 1. So as you can see, within the smaller Pacific Islands, there's still a lot of scope for us to get more organizations ISO certified. Yes, and so that is a register that's freely available to the public. We can send you the link so you can check for yourselves to see who's certified and who's not. Yes, we can send you the link and then you can check for yourselves. And there are people who've been certified, and if they're not able to attain certification, then they come out of the register, so they get re-registered if they're not able to maintain their status. Next slide. Okay, so this is in relation to BLP. Just last month, we were able to start the work with Build Better. They are an engineering and project management company, a group of engineers and architects who started this company. There's only 7 in this company and working out of Port Vila with the 1 office. And why have they decided to go with ISO 9001 certification? Yes, first one is to optimize their internal processes, but also they've started to say, hey, these 8 donors from overseas, they're asking for us to have ISO certification. And if we don't have it, then we won't be eligible for the tender. And as you can see, these tenders are not small projects. They're quite lucrative. So if you think that ISO, yes, it's paperwork, there's a cost, but imagine the opportunity lost if you don't get ISO and you miss out on a multi-million-dollar contract. Yes, okay, the next slide. Okay, so these are several ISO standards. The most popular is 9001, the red one for those in construction is 45001 for health and safety, and 14001 for environmental management systems. This just shows stakeholders that you are certified to a management system that ensures the environmental safeguards are in place. So rather than you just saying, yes, I do look after the environment, this third-party certification gives your clients or your stakeholders assurance that somebody else checked that you meet this standard. Yeah, so normally as a consulting firm and advisor, we issue a quote for our services, and then if you're happy to go ahead, we sign a service agreement, and then we manage it as a project to get you certified within 3 to 6 to 12 months. But again, it depends on how urgent it is. If you have a multi-million-dollar order waiting for you, we can get you certified a lot quicker. But if there's not much urgency in it, we can work across a 6 to 12 month time frame. Next slide. Yes, so that's the end of my presentation. I wanted to thank you everyone for your time to listen in regards to the benefits of ISO certification. Ourselves, we've been certified for 3 years, and I can say as the business owner, it is worth every cent that we invested in maintaining our certification. We just finished our annual audit the last month, and the value we got from that audit itself has been tremendous. We're able to win more work, win more contracts, and our clients are coming to us rather than us chasing clients. So that's a situation that we'd like yourself to be in. that instead of always trying to find new clients, you're in a position where clients are trying to engage you, which I think is a better position to be in. With that, I thank you, everyone. And Melanie, I'll pass it back to you. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Thank you, Dion, for the insightful presentation, and also thank you, Anthony Sosa from the Bureau Veritas, for also being part of the webinar today. I'm just going to go summarize through Dion's presentation, and I'll leave the floor open for any questions or any feedback from the presentation. So going through the presentation, Dion has gone through the presentation. We all see the importance of having ISO certification, especially in the Pacific, where we get a lot of climate instability and natural disasters. We can say that quality and certification is not just a compliance tool, but it's for business survival and growth strategy, like Dion has mentioned about resilience of a business, strengthening the resilience, maintaining business continuity, and improving profitability in a business. It's very important to get that, to have your if your business is ready, to have it certified and go through ISO standards. So most importantly, ISO standard ensures quality and consistency in businesses and allows you to meet market expectations and building strong, reliable brand. So as Dion mentioned, he's also a PLB advisor, and his services could also be subsidized by Business Link Pacific. And yes, that's a brief summary of what Dion has presented to us today. And now I'm going to leave it open for any questions from the audience. So there's a few questions in the chat box. One is asking if you have one is recommending to have organize a full training for everyone. I think I had one. I saw a question of someone asking about cost.
Yep, I'm happy to field that question. Obviously, Dion services are separate from Bureau Veritas and the rest, but the costings for ISO certification is dependent on the scope of your business. For example, a large food manufacturer and producer with 100 staff is going to be much less than a small 2-person operation producing kava, for example. So that does depend on that. The application process, we can do obviously quotations, and that's all based on the risk level of the business and the size of the business. But it does depend, but we can obviously organize quotations for that.
Great. Thank you, Anthony. There's another question here from Bolahiga. How does the ISO apply in a context where a small business operates like a retail, where it buys its supplies, raw materials from suppliers who are based in the community, where documentation seems like a dream, or it does not exist literally? Does it?
Can I expound on my question, please?
Yes, sure.
All right. So I'm based in Fiji. My suppliers are based in the community, in the villages, that is. They don't have these means. They don't have any documentation. They don't have receipts. They don't have, invoices when you require them. So it's how do we go about these challenges of working with suppliers that supply to you, yet they don't provide any documentation. When you order for a certain amount of materials, when it's supplied to you, all they want is money and then they go. That's it. They don't produce any documentation. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the question. Yes, obviously that will be quite challenging. I used to be an organic auditor myself, and when we would audit the copra farmers who sell copra to the processing facility that makes coconut oil, these farmers actually have to hold a receipt book. So when we give them the money, they issue us a receipt, and yeah, it is quite trying to formalize something that's it's quite difficult in the rural areas. But if you're trying to achieve an international standard, then you have to have records in place. Unfortunately, that's the requirement of the standard. So for you, I'd have to get better context of what you're doing. If you are a wholesaler or a distributor, but there are quite a few large distributors in Fiji, like Patel. I think I've gone the company that are ISO certified. Obviously, they are quite. It's a large commercial organization, but you do have wholesalers and retailers in Fiji and PNG who are ISO certified. But then what you have to ask is, will the cost of ISO certification be recoverable from your revenue? Because what we've seen in the past, where people have tried to get certification, trying to maintain it over the years has been a challenge for them, because the revenue that they're collecting is not enough to maintain the certification. So there's quite a few questions. I'm happy to take your question offline and give you more context. Thank you.
Thank you, Dion. There's a question from C here. Who can we reach out to in PNG to help us apply for ISO certification?
Come again? Is that PNG or Fiji?
PNG, sorry.
PNG. Okay. Yes, we do have a colleague that is based in Ley in PNG. We can connect you with them if you give us your details, and they would be able to direct you as to how to get certified. Yeah. So with Quality Solutions, we have subcontractors at the moment in Tonga, in Solomons, and in Fiji, and we're just finalizing one for PNG, which we can share once that's confirmed.
Thank you, Dion. We have another question from Salim Bagua. Hi, Dion. Salim this side from Nova Vanuatu. We got our quotation for ISO. However, I was looking for 3 certificates. Will the cost for obtaining 2 or 3 certification together be the same?
No. Well, when you get more than one certificate, the cost is slightly different, because they are 3 different management systems. So it depends on. Oh, this is from Salim. Yes. Yeah. We can re-quote you for other certifications rather than the one that we sent you. The one we sent you was specifically for cosmetics. So what we can do is we can re-quote you for the others as well. Thank you, Salim.
Thank you, Dion. I think we have Business Link Samoa with their hands up.
Thank you so much. Talofa, John here from Samoa Chamber. Dion, I have a question on while we're discussing costings. If you could share if there's any cases or examples of a co-funding in terms of covering, certification audit costs. and I'm bringing up programs like with BLP, PACER Plus, or even PT&I as well. Thank you.
Yes, well, obviously co-funding is possible. So, for example, this client of ours in Villa, under the BLP, they're obviously paying 50% of our fees, and BLP is paying the other 50, and they will be themselves funding the cost of bringing in the Bureau Veritas auditors from Australia or New Zealand. And that's something that people like PACER Plus can step in and fund, because that's a separate cost. I'm not sure whether Anthony is still here, but okay. Oh yeah, Anthony. Yeah. So, like Anthony mentioned earlier on, there's a separate cost for the audit, the external audit, where the auditor has to be flown into the Pacific Island, and our cost is separate as consultants to get you audit ready. I hope I answered your question there. Yeah, okay. If not, please drop me an email.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have another hand raised from Fola Higa.
Thank you, Valerie. Another question. This is me again from Fiji. Instead of providing, auditors or linking us with auditors that are paid, there are, for accreditation. I'm thinking of us from very small, I would say very micro businesses, but we have contacts with auditors that can provide services, FOC. Is that recognized by BLP?
So sorry, recognized in by BLP in what way? Sorry.
I understand that you have your list of auditors in PG that you recognize to do accreditation, like to do auditing. However, we, from our contact, from our networks, our personal networks, we have friends, we have someone in the family who can do auditing, who are auditors and can carry out auditing, pro bono.
Right. Oh, okay. So BLP only BLP advisors are subsidized by Business Link Pacific, so they have to go through quality checks to be registered in with Business Link Pacific, and then they can be able to. So if some of your advisors would like to, I mean, if they would come through BLP, they would also get certified and then still provide that service to you, but just through subsidized through BLP, but they have to be certified BLP advisors. Does that answer your question?
Oh, thank you very much. So does that mean that they will have to get themselves registered under BLP Fiji, or what is your process?
Yes. They will have to get registered under BLP Fiji and go through a quality check with Business Link Pacific and then be certified.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, so again, thank you for the question. We just have to be careful with the auditors, and the auditors that are accredited by a certifying body like Bureau Veritas. There's a process to get them across the line, obviously. But that's something that Anthony can provide more information on. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dion. Why I'm raising this is because I've been introduced to auditors in Fiji who are recognized by BLP Fiji, but their charges cost us an arm and a leg. Their charges are so high. I was supposed to get audited by one of them, but when he sent me his costs, it's so hefty cost. I am not applying for the grant altogether. That was last year. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for discussions. I'm seeing a lot of exchange in the chat box where everyone's sharing information, and that's very good. I think we all have to agree that with ISO certification, it's a big investment. And for your any micro business to go to that, it has to go through an extensive, preparation to get themselves to be certified by ISO. Through get a certification. So just a question to Dion: is there a sort of pathway where, or how do you deal with different clients with different, different sizes of businesses? If they want to come get quality certified from you, how do you deal with them? And those that are very micro and they come to you, how do you advise them, and where do you advise them to start off with?
Yes, so thank you for the question. We do have an assessment tool that we've developed. So I've put it in the chat box. If it's not there, it should be. So this assessment is one where you can go in and carry out the self-assessment to see how ready you are to get certified. So whether you have any documents, whether your facilities are up to par. So that's, I think it's a good start for you to do the assessment, and the report and assessment can give you some guidance as to how far off you are, or how close you are. So I've just shared the link with you on the chat box. Thank you, Valen.
Thank you, Dion. I have another question. Sorry, just to for the audience as well. What sort of businesses do you work with? Is it just products, or do you also work with businesses that are offering services?
Hello, Valerie. From my end, I do both consultancy and also products. We purchase from grassroots women that live in the village.
Yes, so with the quality solutions, thank you, Valerie. Just to mention, ISO is just part of our scope. A lot of our clients are in the food sector, so we have a lot of support for HACCP certification to get into markets like New Zealand and Australia. And that includes root crops exporters or even cover exporters. But recently, cosmetics, those who make soap and other things like that, we've been able to help in the vegan certification. So one of our clients, she makes tamanu oil out of the tamanu tree. And when we helped her to get vegan certification, she was able to put her products in a large distribution in New Zealand. So instead of sending just a few bottles, she's having to export cartons and cartons. So I just wanted to mention that it's not just ISO that we help with, we help in other standards and schemes. Thank you.
Thank you, Dion. I think we have Business Link Pacific PNG raising their hand.
Hi, thank you, Veleni, and hi, Dion. I'm Gabriel Issa from PNG. I'm actually based here in Ley. My other colleagues are also based in Palm. There's two of us here in Ley. I have been having discussions with HACCP Australia, David and Krupali, because the headers in PNG in terms of supporting SMEs through these certifications is obviously cost, time, and staffing. And so we've had several discussions, and we were able to bring in Paradise Review Services. Paradise Review Services, they do organic certification and also a little bit of HACCP. So our idea has been that we should identify a number of projects, and so that clients can share cost. It's like one strategy, and also the other strategy is HACCP Australia can have a partnership with Paradise Review Services, who can do some of the heavyweight lifting. Does that sound like something we can also do here?
Yes, I know HACCP Australia quite well. I work with them and with other clients in the Pacific. Yeah, that's perfect if you're able to do that for your clients there in PNG. But we like I said, I have a person that I'm working with now she's based in Leh, that is able to do the preparation work, so that people like HACCP Australia or even Bureau Veritas can come in and do the audit. The good thing that I should raise with the Bureau Veritas team is that they're able to do the audit remotely. So if the risk is low, they don't need to send an auditor to PNG. They can do the audit remotely. Thank you.
Great. Sorry, just very quickly, if you can please do the link with the Leh-based person.
Yes. If you email me, and I'll connect you with her. I'll put my email in the chat box.
Thank you, Dion.
All right. Thank you, everyone. It's been lovely having these conversations. And Dion, it shows how interested everyone is with ISO certification. And yeah, I want to thank you all for joining the Business Link Pacific webinar today. Thank you again to the guests, Dion and Anthony, for very insightful presentation today. And thanks everyone for the questions and feedback. It's important for Dion, and we will be sharing. We'll make sure that the advice and support is available to you through email. So any information for Dion will be made available to you, and also he's also sharing his email address in the chat box. So please get that. And the webinar will also be, the slides to the webinar will also be shared. And thank you everyone again for joining us in this webinar today. And I hope to see you all again in our next webinar. Thank you again, Dion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dion. Hi, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Valeni. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Dion. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you,
Thank you,
Anthony.
Dion.
Thank you.
Thank you.